Ready, set, go. Today, I'm behind the wheel of a brand new 2021 Tesla Model S Plaid. This Plaid happens to be my own, and I've had it for about a month now. So in this review video, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion about how this Plaid is, how it behaves as a daily driver, how it behaves as a sports sedan or sports car, and also how it compares to a Tesla Model Y, which was my previous daily driver before this one. All right, let's get started. Now, before I go for a drive, let me first tell you the specs of this Model S Plaid in case you're not aware. This Model S Plaid is the quickest accelerating car in the world. Quickest accelerating to 60 miles per hour and also to quarter mile. Because this Model S Plaid is equipped with 3 motors, over 1,000 horsepower, and 0 to 60 time in 1.99 seconds. 1.99, under 2 seconds. This Model S Plaid can also go up to 200 miles per hour and does quarter mile in 9.23 and traps at 155 miles per hour. This is a very, very quick car. Now, as for range, if you stick with the 19-inch Tempest wheels, you get about 396 miles per charge. That is class leading. If you do opt for the 21-inch Arachnid wheels, which this one is configured with, you have to pay a little more, and the range does go down to about 348 miles per charge. You do lose some range, but in my opinion, it looks a whole lot better. All right, I'm on the road, so let me tell you more about this Model S Plaid, and more importantly, how it drives. First off, if you're looking at the outside of this brand new Model S Plaid, for those of you guys that are not familiar with Model S's, it pretty much looks identical. And that's because the outside is more like an evolution rather than a full redesign for this 2021 model. However, if you look carefully, you'll spot some differences. So starting with the front, you still have that very unique looking front end, and there is really no grille opening at all because there's no engine up there. If you look at the bottom bumper, it is different. The fog lights, the chin spoiler underneath, it definitely protrudes out a little bit more. The car is also wider, about 2 inches wider. The fenders stick out a little bit more, but it's hard to notice unless you're paying attention. Now, if you move to the side, this is how you can tell Model S Plaid is different. The window surrounds and the handles are now black rather than silver or chrome. And I think this looks a whole lot better. This matches the Model Y and the Model 3. And I do think with that black trim and the black handles, I mean, everything just seems better. It just looks more sporty, more elegant, more modern. It's a subtle touch, I know, but I think it does make a big difference. Also, the wheels are different. I mentioned about having 19-inch or 21-inch wheels. Both have been redesigned. This one that you see is 21-inch Arachnid wheels, and I do think they have a really nice design. I like it, and it gives this Model S Plaid the perfect stance. Now, when you move to the back, it more or less looks the same. The bottom bumper has been redesigned. It looks slightly different, and everything is painted. It's painted black. It's not matte black, which is nice, not like the Model Y or the Model 3. Middle bar that used to be chrome or silver now is black. You can see the Plaid badging and also the very large carbon fiber trunk spoiler in the back. One thing that doesn't translate well on video is how wide this Model S Plaid is. There's a big presence because it sits low to the ground and it's extremely wide. The fenders and the hips on both sides stick out tremendously. And my friend has an older P90D, and when compared side by side, this Model S Plaid is definitely wider. I would say about 1 to 2 inches on both sides. There's just a really good presence and stance with this Model S Plaid. Now let's talk about the drive. I can tell you with 100% certainty that this Model S Plaid drives nicer and feels more comfortable than a Model Y. I'll tell you that right off the bat. And that's not a diss on Model Y. This Model S Plaid is just on a whole other level. So when you're traveling around town, it's really, really smooth. It's really smooth, it's comfortable, but when you do need to make corners, this Model S is still very planted. That's the thing, it has a good balance. That's the whole point of adaptive dampers, so that it can adjust to road conditions and also how you're driving. The air suspension is also very nice. It'll automatically adjust based on your speed, but if you happen to be in an area where you want the suspension to be raised, let's say at your house or at a drive-through where you want the car to be a little bit higher, you can automatically select it, and you can make your Model S Plaid remember so that every time you go there, it auto raises. That is really cool. I'll tell you, I've been using that everywhere. In my driveway, it just makes it easier to get in and out of this Model S Plaid. Also, certain drive-thrus like Starbucks at my house, I have a program to go up, so it's easier to get my drink. As for the yoke steering wheel, it's not the greatest. Okay, I'm gonna be brutally honest, it's not the greatest. I would rather have a normal steering wheel. In normal straight line conditions, the yoke is fine. Okay, when you're going straight, you could grab it on the bottom, one hand operation, no problem. You can grab it up here, the 9 and 3 spot, okay. But when you're making turns, slow turns, it just sucks. It just sucks. You have to reprogram yourself in terms of how you grab the steering wheel. Now, because of this new yoke steering wheel, there's been some changes. The turn signal is now on the steering wheel itself. There's no turn signal stock. Now this, I would say, is okay. I've been using this for about a month now. There's been times I still don't know if I'm pressing left or right, so I have to look at it. That's kind of distracting, especially if you need to make a quick turn. Turn signals is okay, isn't the greatest. Would I prefer a stock? To be honest, yes. Yes, I would. Now, the other thing that's gone is the shifter. There's no shifter stock, so you have to rely on the screen or the Tesla itself. This Model S Plaid has a feature called auto shift, and it'll predict if you need to go forward and backwards as soon as you get into the car. And for the most part, it's pretty accurate. It'll detect if something's in front of you or behind you, and that's really, I'm guessing that's how it knows. Now, in case it's not correct or it doesn't tell you, you can use the screen and just scroll up or down. And because of how responsive the screen is, that operation is smooth. There's no hiccups at all. There hasn't been a case where I swiped and it didn't actually go up or down. I think Tesla perfected that. The shifting mechanism is perfection. Perfection, I love it. As for the steering feel itself, just like all other Teslas, the steering feel is perfection. Perfection. The steering wheel, the grip, the thickness is on point. It's really thick. It makes you feel like you're grabbing something substantial like a sports car steering wheel. And the steering is precise. There is no steering play. Zero steering play. And this is hard for other manufacturers to replicate, even EV cars. But I've always said that about my Model Y, is the steering precision and weight is near perfection. And it's the same thing with this Model S Plaid. Really, no other car comes close. And you could adjust it in your menu. I have it on comfort, and even then, there's a really good weight to it. I think this is more than adequate for most people. I have not tested thoroughly like sport mode or any other mode, because I think this is perfectly fine already. It's really good. It's really good. Now, as for throttle, it's also perfect. In fact, I would argue this throttle feel, the accelerator feel, is even better than the Model Y. The Model Y is a little bit stiff. It's a little stiff. This one is more smooth. It feels even more linear, and the regenerative braking is also, in my opinion, the best. It's not as aggressive as the Model Y. The Model Y is really aggressive. You let off the accelerator, the Model Y comes to stop really quickly. This one is still quick compared to normal cars, but compared to other EV cars, it's actually pretty comfortable. Now, what about the performance? Well, the performance is just ridiculous. It's too quick. It's a car that's so quick that you can't even drag race it at the local track because any car under 10 seconds is supposed to have a roll cage. And obviously you can see it does not have a stock roll cage. So this car is ridiculously quick. I'm gonna let you guys, I'm gonna test out acceleration. I've done it many times myself already, and every time I give myself a headache because you get pushed back in your seat, all the blood just flows into your head, and you feel like it's going to pop. Now, as for the rest of this cabin, it has been improved substantially. Yes, this cabin looks so much better than the previous Model S, or really any other Teslas out there. The screen is now horizontal rather than vertical, and the overall placement, you know, the interface, I think it's really nice. It's customizable, so everything like kind of pops up, it floats up. You can move things like, say your music, you didn't want it on the right side, you can flip it to the left side, you can flip it to the right side. Now, as for the seats, I think they're really well designed. They have a good sporty look. Unfortunately, I don't think they're leather. I think Tesla only uses vegan leather, but it's really hard to notice. It definitely has a good look. It also feels very good. It feels softer, more comfortable compared to the Model Y, that's for sure. The bottom cushion is wider, it's softer, it's more supportive in my opinion. Also, the back also feels very nice. The bolsters is not too aggressive. So overall, just sitting here, it's very, very comfortable. And what's also really, really awesome with this new Model S Plaid is you now get ventilated seats. Yes, before that wasn't an option. Like today, it's 90 plus outside, and I can definitely feel it. It's very strong, and you can set it on auto. It'll just match your climate control, and it's really, really nice. Now, is this Model S Plaid a good daily driver? My answer is yes. Not only does it drive really well and it looks fantastic, but it's also very practical. The back is a hatchback. It's not a regular trunk. And when you open it up, you can see, wow, there's a lot of space back there. I would say it's comparable to a compact SUV size. So that's really nice. And underneath the bottom cover, you get hidden storage, like a hidden trunk that's also enormous. So as for the back, it's really nice. You also get a privacy cover on top. And of course, you can fold down the second row seats if you wanted to. I can't right now because my kids' car seats is in the back, but I just want to show you, even with the car seats, right behind the driving position, you have a good amount of legroom. So adults could fit in the back comfortably. Kids and car seats themselves could fit in the back very nicely. And in the back, you do get that brand new screen, which is really useful for controlling your temperature, also your music. You have entertainment back there and heated seats function, all controlled within that screen. Now, I haven't tested watching it over a course of a long drive, right? It does seem kind of low, so if you're looking at Netflix, I think you're probably gonna get a neck ache, but I haven't tested that yet. All right, so here's a little bit of a straightaway. Sorry. I went from about 20 to like 75 really, really quickly. I don't know if the camera captured the speedometer. Like I said at the beginning, this Model S Plaid is the quickest accelerating car in the world. And when you're not fully flooring the accelerator, it's okay. It feels normal. But when you do, that sudden surge of power can't be described. You just have to go for a ride. It's like nothing you've ever experienced. It's instant, it pushes you back, the blood just like flows to your head, and it feels like your head is going to pop. That's what it feels like. So yeah, there you go. And that wasn't using the drag strip mode, which I still haven't found a place to really test it, because it does take some time to activate. First of all, when you go in the menu and you select drag strip mode, it sometimes takes up to like 6 or 7 minutes to get ready. And once it's ready, you'll see it in digital gauge cluster saying peak performance ready. And when you're really ready to launch, well, you hold down the brake and then you floor the accelerator. It prepares the suspension. It's called cheetah mode. And then you let go of the brake pedal and then you just literally fly. Okay, I don't know if I could find somewhere where I could actually really test that. But it's insane. It's insane. In addition to the large trunk space in the back, you also have a frunk. Yes, you do have a trunk up front. It's small. You can see I have a couple basketballs there, but you could definitely put a small luggage or some groceries. But I wish it was powered. It's not. Tesla has no power frunks, and I hope that gets added in the future. So after living with this Model S Plaid for about a month now, are there any other things that I don't like? Well, I did mention a few things already, but there's a few gremlins. For example, the auto present handles that's supposed to auto present every time you come up to the car, it doesn't always work with this. So I think an OTA update on the Model S Plaid will fix it. And also, sometimes when I get in the car, the streaming radio, it's dead. It says loading error. And I haven't seen that before. With my Model Y, that has never happened. Every time I get into the car, the streaming radio would just continue. It would continue off the last song that was playing before I exited the car. Now, sometimes they'll do that. Sometimes when I get in, especially like say overnight after charging, I get in and I'll say like loading error, and it's not easy to fix. Sometimes I have to like click another streaming channel before it works. Sometimes I just press forward, it works. So again, another gremlin. I think an OTA update could fix that and the auto present handles. But right now, they're still present. So to answer the questions I posed at the beginning, is this Model S Plaid a good daily driver? In my opinion, yes. It's a stunning car that I want to look at every single day. It's a car I want to get in every day because I love the way it drives. It's also very practical. The kids could fit in the back. It has 4 doors. I don't have to worry about just having 2 doors or 2 seats. The whole family could go with me. And there's plenty of trunk space in the back, and you have a frunk. And let's not forget, it gets great fuel economy. And that's because it doesn't have an engine. You plug it in at night and you get plenty of range available in the morning. So as a daily driver, I think it's fantastic. So is this car a good sports car or sports sedan? Hell yeah. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. It has a presence, and the performance can back it up. This is the quickest accelerating car in the world. If a Bugatti Chiron pulled up next to me, one that costs over $1 million, I'd say, okay, I would still be quicker. There's very, very, very little cars out there that could actually compare to this car in terms of performance, and none surpasses it. That's how amazing this car is, being a sports car and also being a sports sedan, because I mentioned you can haul the whole family around. That's what's amazing about it. Now, there is one other drawback to this car, and that is the price. The Model S Plaid is not a cheap car. This Model S Plaid starts at $130,000. And if you want to add FSD, which is full self-driving, that's another $10,000. And if you wanted a color that's outside of white, it costs thousands more. If you wanted to upgrade to these 21-inch Arachnid wheels, $4,500 more. So grand total for this car being configured as it is, plus all the fees and title and destination charge and taxes, and you put all that together, grand total of $160,000. $160,000, yes, it's very expensive, and most people can't afford it. However, if you can afford it and you're looking for a great daily driver, a great sports car, a great Tesla, in fact, the best Tesla there is, and you're looking for something that can outperform a Bugatti Chiron, well, you only have one option, and that is a Model S Plaid. If you want to see how this Model S Plaid ranks among its peers, head over to driversonlyrankings.com. Hit the like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, and also check out these 2 other videos right now.